All right, Emma, let's start with the women's game coming up, which is so exciting to have an all-women's broadcast. You've done this before, but how special is it still to come back to Fenway and do it?
I think that's so important is the fact that we keep doing it. You know, we didn't just check a box for one season. We keep highlighting the women not only in front of the camera calling the game, but behind the scenes as well. It's really cool to keep doing it year after year.
You have grown so much in the recognition of your ability and what you do for the Sea Dogs and for the franchise. How nice is it to just be the play-by-play voice of the Portland Sea Dogs and not the woman who's a play-by-play voice of the Portland Sea Dogs?
Yeah, that's always the goal, right? It's just to walk into the press box and say, oh, the play-by-play voice is here, or the broadcaster's here, not the female broadcaster over here just walked in. And so that's, I think, the end goal for all women in this industry is just to be the producer and just to be the play-by-play broadcaster, not to have any sort of gender attached to it.
So much more acceptance now because there have been so many pioneers who have broken through, but it is still a male-dominated industry. With your rising platform, to be able to help lift others behind you and help them get the opportunity, what does that mean to you?
Oh, it means everything. You know, Riley Pay, who called the game with us a couple seasons ago, you know, she's now the AAA voice for the Seattle Mariners out in Tacoma, Washington. I have a female assistant again this season with Perry Kitai. She is well on her way to being a number one somewhere else. So it's really cool to be able to kind of mentor and to be that resource for women coming up in the industry, and then to see them leave Portland and go do great things.
The first time you did it here at Fenway Park, what is that first inning like? Like, players talk about not letting the game speed up on you. How much did you have to work on not letting that game speed up on you? I
mean, it was great the week leading up of our coaching staff, Chad Epperson included, saying, it's just baseball. Why are you so nervous? And I said, well, it's Fenway Park. But I think that first game, I think one of the first play-by-play calls I did was a ground ball to David Hamilton at shortstop. And once I said Hamilton fires to first for the first out, I said, I've called that a million times in Portland, and I think that's when it settles in, whenever it helps that there's a former Sea Dog somewhere on this field, and then once that kind of clicks for me, then it is just baseball at the end of the day.
You've been there long enough that a lot of these players spend time in Portland. How nice is that familiarity? How much does that help you? You know a lot of their stories. You don't have to go learn about a lot of these guys.
Yeah, it's great. It's really cool to be able to watch them progress throughout the minor leagues, see them, what pitches they've been working with and tinkering with in AA, and now they're absolutely dominant, like Peyton Tolley right now at the big league level, and the hitters as well. So I think it's really cool to see them come full circle, and then I'm up top, you know, calling a game just like a Sea Dogs game.
You're a mother. You balance that work life, which is not easy for any of us. How much have you learned about that work-life balance and about time management and how you do all this?
Take it day by day and bring your kid to the ballpark. You know, I think that my daughter now is a staple at Hadlock Field. Now she has little broadcast tidbits like 1 strike, 2 outs. So she's maybe the future broadcaster in the family. But I think it's not having a work-life balance. I think it's having work as a part of your life and vice versa, and bringing your kid to the ballpark as much as you can.
I think we still need a sideline reporter for the game. Is she ready?
Oh, she definitely is.
Talk about what you're watching this year. You've gotten to see Franklin Arias. He was just called up, obviously, to AAA, but we've been watching that power, which I think was the last piece, and I'm not sure everyone knew that it was there, but boy, it's there.
Oh, it's there. You know, I think the turning point for Arias was he hit an inside slider, took an opposite field home run in Altoona in April, and that's when we all knew the work is paying off for him. And so now I think with Arias off to Worcester, the focus now on Anthony Ianson and the pitching staff right now, the starting rotation is absolutely dominant. Right now, Sea Dogs just have a well-rounded team, just a really solid pool of players right now in AA.
It's always interesting, right? As a former minor league play-by-play person, you watch this group and you say, boy, we could go pretty far. But the trade deadline's a few days away. You're probably going to lose some people. They're going to move up like Arias did to AAA. They're going to get promoted. It's that balance of development, which is the priority for the organization, and winning, which is what the fans in Portland want.
Absolutely. But it's also really fun to see, okay, how's Greenville doing? Who might we get if there are some moves? And looking at the depth of the organization right now, I think even if we lose some guys, like we did lose Arias, but we have Mason White now at shortstop, I think we're still in a good spot looking at how the farm system is.
Chad Epperson getting an opportunity as third base coach, 34 years as a lifer in the minors, not really getting a sniff, and admitting a few years ago he's like, yeah, I just learned to enjoy what I was doing, not thinking I might ever get the opportunity. How fun is it to watch Epi get this opportunity?
People still send me pictures of the games here at Fenway and say, hey, here's Epi, here's Epi. I think that was the coolest thing to see him move up, because spending so many years with him in the clubhouse and talking with him, he's a guy you can ask him anything in the world and he will give you a straightforward answer. He's there to support the Sea Dogs and Portland, and to see him reach the highest point of his career is so special.
There was a moment, that Sunday game in Baltimore, Cora and the coaches were let go Saturday night, and they rushed the Chads down to Baltimore, right, for that last game of the series. And we came on the air, and I've known Epi a long time, as you have, and there was a shot of him at Camden Yards just kind of standing alone, and we were on it for like 3 minutes. And, and he's like kind of straight out of Central Casting for a third base coach, right? He's got the look, he's got the mannerisms, but you could just see that he was taking a moment to take it all in. And he had the big sunglasses on. I don't want to say there was a tear being shed. That might have been me being a little romantic. But those are the moments that make this so great, that make what you do so great, is that you get to see these players and coaches and managers realize their lifelong dream.
Absolutely, and Epi always took a moment like that before every game. He would always be one of the first out of the clubhouse pregame. He would sit on the rail and kind of take it all in minor league stadiums with a capacity of maybe 7,000 or 8,000. Nothing close to Fenway or Camden or any of the other ballparks. But I think it's really special whenever you can put it all into perspective of, you were just in Portland, Maine yesterday, and now you're at Camden Yards and you're the third base coach for the Boston Red Sox. I think that that taking that moment for that perspective and then moving right on is so key.
All right, when you're a minor league announcer, you have to do a little bit of everything. When I was with the Portland Pirates, I once drove a Zamboni, so I get it.
Impressive.
Yeah, no, they didn't. Trust me, somebody else did it afterwards to do a better job. But you've pulled a tarp. But you have pulled a tarp in a Christmas tree costume, which I don't think I've ever seen anybody else do. You have to tell us the story of why you were pulling a tarp, part of the grounds crew, wearing a Christmas tree.
Well, it is minor league baseball. So the promotion that day was Christmas in July, and so staff is always encouraged to dress up. That was my award-winning Christmas party outfit for the staff party earlier this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And obviously I won first place. And so I thought I'd bring it back, and of course it started to rain because it's Portland. And I said, wow, we're going to pull off the tarp pretty close to game time and won't really have time to change before pregame. And I just decided to roll with it and just straight-faced it in the pregame show, talking about Brooks Brannon and his power numbers this season. And I like to keep my assistants on their toes too, of keeping the straight face despite the ridiculous get-up.
The image is amazing. It really, the one where you're tilting sort of the arm out is just perfect. All right, here we go. I wouldn't let this end without giving an opportunity for the good people of the Chamber of Commerce of Greater Portland to be able to tell everybody watching down here in Boston why they should get up to Hadlock Field and see a game in Portland.
Because it's baseball the way it should be. It's the best place to catch a baseball game. You are just feet away from future Red Sox, future big leaguers. You have a Hall of Famer slugger, the Sea Dog. You walk in, you leave your problems at the gate, problem-free atmosphere, and then you pick them up on your way out.
And then you go to the Old Port. And you finish off the weekend.
Exactly. And we won't talk about what people do at the Old Port.
That's probably the best. Maybe go when the Hearts of Pine are playing and you do a doubleheader. Got to get that plug in there as well. Congratulations on all the success.
Thank you so
Can't
much.
wait to watch the game, and welcome back to Fenway.
Thanks so much.